If you like Poison, you rock a mullet, and you drive a Camaro, put down the pipe and get a job. If you're 38 years old, you live in your mom's garage, your vehicle is a 20-inch BMX bike with a rusted chain, you might be a tweaker. If somebody says watch out for the speed bumps and you think they're talking about the bumps in the back of your throat, you might be a tweaker. If you think a good tattoo comes from a guitar string, a Bic pen, and the motor out of your radio that you just took apart, you might be a tweaker. If even your dentures are black, you might be a tweaker. If you ever have painted your teeth with whiteout, you're a tweaker. If you consider smoking a Newport first thing in the morning, brushing your teeth, you might be a tweaker. If you've ever had your girlfriend pop a boil on your back, you might be a tweaker. If you say last night and you really mean 2 weeks ago, you might be a tweaker. If you go into a 24-hour Home Depot at 3 in the morning and buy a torch, you might be a tweaker. If you cruise around town with a roll of foil in your back pocket, you might be a tweaker. If you use foil for anything other than cooking, you might be a tweaker. If you dumpster dive for empty Marlboro packs so you can pull the Marlboro miles off of them, you might be a tweaker. If you own Poison's greatest hits, you might be a tweaker. If you own Poison's greatest hits, you drive a Camaro, and you also own Skid Row's greatest hits, you're definitely a tweaker. If you're not a coal miner, and you own one of those hats with the light on front of it, you might be a tweaker. If you have more boils than teeth, you might be a tweaker. If you're watching this show right now, and you think we're out to get you, you might be a tweaker. If you're watching this program right now, and you're also watching a 4-split screen that shows your front door, your backyard, down the street, and your neighbor's house, you might be a tweaker. If you have a video camera on your front door, you might be a tweaker. If you started to fix your car last month and you're still working on it, you might be a tweaker. If it's 3 in the morning and you're working on your car, you might be a tweaker. If you have ever mowed your lawn with scissors, you might be a tweaker. If it's midnight and you have a spotlight in your yard and you're doing some kind of landscape work, you might be a tweaker. If you collect cans, but not to recycle them, but to build something with them, you might be a tweaker. If you ever thought glue was some kind of hygiene product, you might be a tweaker. If you have foil posted up over your window, except for a little hole in the corner, you might be a tweaker.